Out of the pod.
Yes, because there are people who. I'm sorry. Hey, welcome to Radical Books and Politics, everybody. We are here with our fantastic co-host Daniel Brooks, and I am waiting to get our guests on who are now messaging me. Let me see. Yes, no. Today promises to be an exciting show because we will have leaders from the Chicago Union of the Homeless, and I got to tell you, man, it's gonna be pretty fucking cold in Chicago soon. So there are a number of efforts that we're doing, and if I don't pitch it this time, I will definitely next time, next Sunday. But essentially, what happened last year is that it was cold. It's cold as fuck in Chicago, and so we, not we, but I helped to support because they did a call for basically for a GoFundMe from numerous organizations to put them in hotels and feed them. So it was my honor to be able to donate money and also take food. But I'm sorry, Tamekia, who is coming on today, who was the president. She says, "Oh, okay, give me a few minutes because I just got up." All right. She's a joy. She's a treasure. And her partner is also going to be on. But the Chicago Union of the Homeless, I believe, was established about a year and a half ago, and the Legal Revolutionists for New America has been very supportive and help with leadership and development. But one of the things that this is promises to be another cold winter like all others, and they're gonna need help. But today, as soon as Tamiko, that's her like stage name, I think Tamiko. I'll ask her. She's going to be doing comedy. She's also a poet. And whenever Tamiko comes on, Felipe also comes on, so they're going to be probably trading off the phone. So we have a few minutes. I don't know, Daniel. Let's hear what's going on in Indiana. I messaging me girlfriend. Okay.
Yeah, really just what you were talking about and how it's getting colder. Thinking about the rent moratorium, how it's ended for now. I mean, how long has it been now? Maybe a few months. And kind of and how that'll be impacted because there'll be more people out there than last year or the year
Yeah.
before that and years before then, as people continue to get evicted. So, and actually here in Indiana, there was about 500 and I guess roughly over 530 million of rental assistance money that's been withheld
Mm-hmm.
from the citizens of
Why?
Indiana.
Oh my
And it's
God, that
and
pisses
it's
that. Oh,
it's
that makes me
it's
so angry.
yeah,
You
and
know.
it's just lying dormant somewhere with no real explanation as to why that money isn't being dispersed to people that really need it, despite the the rent moratorium now having ended. So just like any place else here throughout the country, Indiana and the people of Indiana are in a extremely desperate situation, and have been for quite some time now.
Well, I gotta tell you a little bit about Chicago. I mean, without just it being cold and evictions and whatnot. So, as you probably know, I've been on the forefront of the fight against COVID here in Chicago. I'm trying to unite with other people in other parts of the country and then globally. And it's definite. I said I charge COVID racist genocide, man. I charge
Absolutely.
racism against the South, whether it's in our country, whether it's in the world, and I'm disgusted. We finally got the vaccine for children's ages. I mean, for children ages 5 to 12, which
Right.
is good. But then what did they do with those vaccines? They send them to Walgreens and CVS and private pediatricians. Our private pediatrician, I don't think has them yet. My husband just happened to get our kids signed up tomorrow to get the vaccines. And
Mhm.
wouldn't you know it, that just as I was about to feel comfortable sending my kid back to his school, his class is quarantined again. And some jackass, probably Dr. Awadi, you have to investigate. Science says that children should stay quarantined for 14 days, and they shorten the time period for 10 days. And lying Lori Lightfoot, instead of supporting quarantines, promised to cut back on quarantines because it caused chaos. And I'm like, what kind of BS is that? So you're going to imperil our kids just because a quarantine is inconvenient? So it's a hot mess. And I
It
know,
is.
yeah, it is. And, oh, get this, and the mayor, Governor Pritzker, who I'm not going to vote for again. I mean, he was a far better change than the previous jackass who was withholding money and just ruined the state in terms of the mental health industry and health department. But he's thinking about taking away the mask mandate during the holidays. I'm like, why? Why would you
Mm.
do that? Right? He probably wants to get votes from the South, But it's stupid, dude. Look, people want to pretend they're not living in a pandemic, but that's bullshit, you know. And so it's been a real man. I was crying when I got that email though that that Antonio's class had quarantined again because it's been so hard. And you know, the reality is, look, homeschooling is hard, and I'm
Absolutely.
not a trained teacher like you are. You know, you're a special ed teacher. You know that it takes a lot of training to teach kids. Like I've hired tutors for him, and Simona's been a struggle. Simona's 6. My husband's been the one that does Comm Academy with her or something. But it is so difficult. And I'm telling you, when I say I charge COVID race genocide, I think part of the problem is that the ruling class has held on to those funds. And the city colleges also where I work, they have gotten $6 million for our budget. That's great. We could do a lot with $6 million. They haven't done shit, right? And in the CTU system, sorry, it's the CTU. Well, bad. I'm kind of upset at the union right now. But the CPS system, $4.2 billion. And you mean to tell me they can't open up vaccination centers in the school? I'm telling you, it's genocide. I'm sorry. We're Tamika. This is a passion. Hey, so welcome.
Hey,
Oh my gosh, you look so great. How do you say your name, Mihad? I know I'm mispronouncing it. How do you
Me?
pronounce your name? Yeah, you lady.
You said it right, Tamika.
I said. Oh, okay.
I'm glad that you didn't say it like the doctors and my teachers used to say it because I got suspended plenty of times because they want to make it sound like Tamika. Yeah, and I keep telling them the I is silent.
absolutely.
I
Well,
said
Tamika,
one.
this
I was
this is
I was in third grade. I was
Lord,
in
here we
third grade, and my third grade Miss Strickland. I think she didn't like me because one, I had different color eyes and I was a black girl. Two, I was smarter than all her other students. And three, I had a smart mouth. So I can blame myself for that because after me being in your class for over 2 months, you should know how to pronounce my name. You see
Yeah,
me
yeah,
every
damn
day.
right,
Absolutely
damn
right.
right, damn right. So I used to get irate because people would call me Maria, and you know. But anyway, I was going to introduce you to Comrade Daniel Brooks. Daniel is on the editorial board of the Unity anthologies that I produced through Body Blues Press. He's an amazing poet. So Tamika, the floor is open. Why don't you introduce yourself? Before you came on, we were talking about the struggles that homeless people have, especially during the wintertime. And if you want to talk about any efforts to like do the GoFundMe or feed people, which again the city should be doing, but you know.
Absolutely. My government name is Tamika, but I go by my grandma name that she gave me, which is Bonnie. And the reason why I'll explain that story another day. But anyhow, I am formally not I'm formally housed now. I
Mm,
was homeless 2 years ago, and the wintertime for a homeless person is
mm,
mainly they really need to stay warm. The reason why I say that is because may he rest in peace, a comrade that was next my not my tent and his tent was next to each other and he froze to death out there.
oh my
And
God.
he also was a veteran, which make me even more angry at this country that we live in that's called the United States. That's just my
Mm-hmm.
opinion.
That
Because
was
I feel like his whether he had an incontinence problem or not, when he was younger, he was good enough to fight for this fucking country.
mm-hmm.
Now
Absolutely.
that he's older and he can't help whatever his problem is, y'all supposed to stand up for y'all fucking soldiers. Not for just your current soldiers, your ones that been in there before the ones that's in there now. Because each year we have a different problem. This year, well, last year we had came out with the pandemic. The year before that, the tsunami, and the year before that, the year before that, it's so much shit that's going wrong. But then they holler, "We want you to fight for a country,
Mm-hmm.
for the land of the free." We might be free in a lot of ways, but we're still a slave. No
Yep.
matter what your nationality is, this is just my opinion. I'm sorry.
No,
I don't
bro,
want
this is the point
I
where you can
absolutely
clear it,
agree.
bro. Say it, preach it, say it.
Yes.
because I feel they treat homeless people like they're dirt, and we're not dirt. Even though I'm not homeless no more, but I'm still a part of that community because I believe in them just like they believed in me. They helped me learn that one, if I had the opportunity to get a job or be able to do whatever it is to help me survive, I could do that. But if I'm constantly being told, oh, your background, you did 20 years, 20 years ago now, you did 20 years. You went to jail for 20 years ago for stealing. 20 years ago, you was a thief. So that means you paid your time to society or according to the law. You gave them the 20 years they charged you for the crime that you committed. But now that you're out, you can't get a job because, oh, I was a thief 20 years ago. That's not, that's a, that, mm, mm, I'm sorry.
No, to
Because
me,
one, I have to let y'all know you're dealing with a person that has multiple disorders. People talk about bipolar and schizophrenia. I love you too, Daddy. People talk about people with bipolar schizophrenic disorders, but the first word they come out, oh, they crazy. No,
mm-hmm.
motherfucker. I'm sorry for all the cussing. I'm sorry. It's just
Girl, this is you with comrades. I cuss all the time. Be yourself.
Yeah.
I'm
Do
just
you?
I'm just saying. I don't want and I thank you for inviting me to be able to speak my piece about this because I'm
Anytime.
tired. For years I was told a woman place is to sit down, make cook food, be barefoot and pregnant in the kitchen. When I started having sex, I told my mama, I'm not gonna be no motherfucking fool like you. I said, one, y'all gave me a constitutional right, said I got the freedom of speech. That means I have the freedom to speak my mind to you and whoever else the hell get on my nerve, right? She's like, yeah, but I am your mom. I said, let me let you in on something. Freedom of speech, long as I'm not crossing the boundaries of what a daughter should say to her parent. That means I get to tell you, look, you're getting on my nerve with this conversation, and I don't want to hear it. I said that's where the word rebellion come from, because you could tell a child something over and over. They can listen to you all day long, but when they get tired of hearing you say something about it, they gonna do the opposite of what you're saying. So that's where rebellion come in at. But
Yeah.
Absolutely.
anyhow, we got a fucked up government system because they don't care about nobody but them damn self. If
Mm-hmm.
you weren't born into money, this just my opinion. This just my opinion now. How I
And it's our
feel.
opinion too. It's our opinion too. I
Hmm.
think.
If you wasn't
Yes.
born into money or with a wealthy family with a wealthy background, you're not shit to them.
Mm.
Fuck the Illuminati and all that other cockamamie bullshit they want to come up with. My whole thing is this. You told me 243 years ago, which means I'm 43. That means you told me 200 years ago I was a people. The first three words you said out your mouth, we the people. You didn't say I the people. You said we, which meaning more than one. For according to my comprehension, unless I was taught wrong in school, then that mean I gotta go kick all my teachers' ass. But anyhow, it's
Hmm.
just you told me something and you didn't stand on your word. And my true belief and my whole honestly, that's why I don't see how people deal with me. If you lie to me, steal from me, do anything to cause me harm, I can't fuck with you. That's why I fight so hard for the homeless community, because the government, they done lied to us, they done stole from us, and they did every fucking thing in their power to cause us harm. So I'm fighting.
That's right.
I want to be
Yes.
that voice.
Yes.
People like I talked to a couple of ladies the other day that I live on Lunt and Morris now, and I'm very grateful to be in Rogers Park. I talked to a lady, even though she's like, I'm not really homeless, I just need help. I said we all need help,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm not
Absolutely.
looking down on you for getting help. It's just when you ask somebody for help, be honest. I said, you know what? It doesn't matter. if they like the fact of the matter, you might be a drug addict or alcoholic. But guess what? That's what you choose to do to live. And if I can help you, that's what you need to help you live. Here. She said, I never heard that before. I said, because one, all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. So who the fuck am I to judge you?
That's right. Yeah, I used to do work with the homeless in Spokane, and this was a Catholic nun, and she would say because the women were drug addicts, not a lot of them, but some of them, and she said it was a grace because they hadn't committed suicide. And this is what she taught me. God, it must have been about 15 years ago or more, when I was in grad school, that she wasn't judging anyone. You know, that's when people ask me for money. You know how they say, "Oh, I don't give money to the homeless," blah blah blah. I don't give a shit. I give them money, and if you know, people who, the stereotype of the one person who's rich and goes home to, I don't buy it. There are more people in tenement houses under the viaduct in tents, not about 4 blocks from here, on one of those city sanctioned tent cities, probably one of the few in a food desert, no doubt. And I don't buy it. And I help people, and two, like, I know people want to give food, but maybe they don't want your water, maybe they don't want your fucking half-eaten hamburger. Give them what they
Right.
want.
Because from my experience living at Roosevelt and Des Plaines, which is one of the worst fucking encampments that a tent could be in, but it was a place to stay. And it was
Mm,
somewhere that I could have shelter.
yeah.
The reason why it was so fucked up is because one, it was rats. The rats was so fucking long, not less long they tail, how long they fucking tail was. They were so long and fat. Soon as the sun start going down, they come up out the ground, and that's where everybody's tent is at. And that's the only place you could be safe and not be getting knocked on the goddamn expressway, going to the north side or whatever side you going to. And the reason why, and people would bring out Little Caesars, we would sit down and tell some of the donors, would you stop doing that? Because the 25 pieces that you wouldn't bought for at least however many 30 people that's out here, only 5 of these pieces gonna get ate, and the rest gonna eat the rest up. I say reason why is because one, we don't have a storage space where we can lock it up where they can't get into it. And two, we don't have a microwave where we can rewarm the stuff up. So if you wouldn't mind, come out here and ask us. I
Yeah.
understand you're spending your money, but if you're gonna spend $50 on 50 damn pizzas because they say they $5, you were just wasting $50 for no reason because only 5 of your pieces gonna get ate. And then you
Yeah.
gonna come back, you gonna see all them pieces that you just bought. All them homeless people don't want shit. No, it's not that.
Yeah.
And some people can't eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. One, I knew that I learned that because my baby Felipe, he cannot eat peanut butter for nothing because it breaks him out. And I did not know he had an allergic reaction till one day we was eating some peanut butter something sandwiches that they brought out there because we ain't had no money. You know, we tried to panhandle, but wasn't nobody helping us. So we ate what they came out there with. And when he broke out and we found out he was allergic to peanut butter, I'm like, oh my God. So I sat down with a couple of the donors. I'm like, we understand you can't afford a lot to help homeless people. Bologna helps us, salami, turkey meat, whatever you can. I say, even your leftover dinner from the night before, that helps us.
Yeah.
I said, because you want people to feed you like you want to be fed.
Yeah. No, that's true.
Said,
I
and I said, and the lady like, well, why would you want to be fed like we get fed? We in the house and we. And
sorry.
I said, I'm sorry. I said,
No,
first
no.
of all,
I mean, why? That's just a stupid question. Why
Terrible.
wouldn't you want to be fed like a person who sits down at the dinner
Because I'm a
table?
human being.
All
That's
right.
so
why.
when she said that to me, one of the aldermen happened to be walking up, and I did not know he had the camera crew with them or nothing. At that time, I smoked a lot of marijuana to stay out of pain because I was hit by a car. But anyhow, I'm not even gonna blame it on the weed. It's just the fact of the matter. She asked me, "Why would you want us to feed you like we want to be fed?" Like you said, one, I'm a fucking human being.
Right.
Two, if you trying to help us the way we trying to tell you, so you won't feel like what you're doing is not helping. I say, don't be like the fucking government. They come out, they send people out Thanksgiving and Christmas to help the homeless people. We need help all fucking year long.
Yeah, that's right.
I
Hey,
said something. One, being a person that have multiple disorders, I said it's been plenty of time that I wanted to kill a lot of folk. But I know me personally, I can't do sitting behind nobody bars and nobody telling me get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. Then I gotta worry about 50 bitches trying to beat me up and make me do all they work. No, no, no. So to avoid that, she's like, well, why you ain't on your medicine? I said, because the medicine was making me go back to the hospital. I don't like being sitting in no hospital for months after months, being doped up with the same shit that you telling me supposed to tell me not to kill nobody, but the shit telling me kill everybody. She
mm,
like, that's what really happened. I said, baby girl, when you've been diagnosed with this shit over 20 some years as a kid, and you have to really learn how to cope with this shit. And you hear people say, "Oh, they just crazy, they just crazy." No, motherfucker, it's shit that happens in our lives that makes that fucking shit activate really strong, and we forget all about it, and we black out. And then when y'all tell us the story that happened, we looking like we looking shocked because we really don't realize that we did something like that. She like, well, you wouldn't be homeless. Homeless people can get checks and homeless people can go work. I said, you know what? So the alderman tapped me on my shoulder. I said, "Sir, if you don't want me to cuss on your cameras, I advise you to walk the fuck away from me because this bitch just pissed me off telling me about what homeless people don't do and what they don't need. And she did go on her monkey ass back to her house and close her door and turn her heat on. And I got to zip up a fucking tent and turn some fucking propane on. Fuck her and you too."
To me,
nice. Hey, go ahead, Daniel.
Tamika, I did want to ask you a question because you spoke a little bit about being like a child and your childhood and kind of your experiences in the classroom. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm a teacher and I teach, in the elementary age. And I wanted you to speak a little bit more to that, how how you talk about like homelessness and injustice and kind of the genocidal kind of mentality of this
Yeah.
country and how that's instilled in children. And you talked also about rebellion and how children naturally rebel because they haven't yet been programmed as we all have been programmed as we become adults. So they aren't in tuned as to what they're supposed to be doing in all of this or not. So how do we get molded and how does our childhood really affect us in terms of like growing up in these systems and also mental health as well?
I'm trying to process it. I love the question, but I want to be honest. From being a parent and being a former homeless person, because when my children were out there with me way before now. This is my first rodeo of being homeless. This is my fifth rodeo of being homeless, but it's over with now. But anyhow, children, when it come down to children, like at the time, my children, they grown now, but the ones that I had out there with me, they grown. Those are the ones that's grown. They look at their parents like mom or dad, whoever is with them at that moment. You sure we gonna be okay? Even though you're constantly saying yes and encouraging, trying to. Mm, I'm sorry. That's just it's sort of a sore subject. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay, Tamika. Maybe we could hear some of your poetry. I know I advertises as Tamika's gonna work on some of her jokes, and maybe we could switch it up a little bit. Because I know this is super hard, and you've had damn girl. I
I'll switch it up after I get done answering this question because
Sure, sure.
thank you for answering me that because no one never asked that type of question to a woman,
Hmm.
a mother that was homeless. When you try to change a child's mind on how not to rebel, one, you find out how that child feel about being without. Because when you have a child that don't have a home, especially, let's alone food, they gonna drive you bonkers. So you might go rob Peter and Paul at the same time to make sure that don't happen. At
Mm-hmm.
that time when my children were with me, I did a lot of very, very bad things, which I should be locked up for right now today. But I thank God that I'm not. But anyhow, and it was because I couldn't at the time the shelter that I was in was so nasty. They only cleaned when it was time for the inspection time.
Mm, come
But
on now.
other than that, you gotta get out of there at 6 o'clock in the morning. Your kids gotta be at school at 7. So why the hell do I have to get up extra at 5 o'clock, get my kids up at 5 o'clock and get them ready to go sit at McDonald's when I can't buy them McDonald's?
Mm.
And just so happened, I'm grateful for the favor that was on my life. It was a couple of the workers. They were like, "Well, we know you come here every morning at 6:30. You must live at that shelter down the street down there." I said, "Yeah, I do." And she was like, "You really upset that your kids can't eat?" I said, "Absolutely." So she gave me a job,
Wow.
and I'm very grateful for her
Mm.
because she died last year.
Oh my gosh.
Mm.
She gave me a job and corporate was on her ass because I did drop dirty in at the time. I didn't know marijuana was a real bad drug. I just was smoking it back then because I liked it, but now I smoke it because it does help with pain. I didn't know
Mm.
that at first, but now I do. And when she gave me that job, I was happy when they said get the hell up out of there. I started working at 7, so it didn't matter. And her daughter went to the same school my kids went to. So I
Oh.
didn't never
Mm.
have to make sure my kids got to school. They had breakfast every morning and they went to school. Even though it was McDonald's breakfast, but they still had something on their belly.
That's
That's
right.
right.
Yeah. That's awesome. I mean, that's solidarity, Tamika.
That really is.
Beautiful. So you want to throw down some jokes or poetry, and she's open to criticism. So
I'm gonna start out with a joke because I gotta look up some more poetry because I gotta get it off my phone because I don't write poetry. I stopped writing poetry when my daughter learn my poetry books. I used to have over 250 poems every day when I was homeless. I write a poem. I would write a poem about the sky. You look at the sky. I don't remember a word for word, but I remember bits and pieces of it because it was one of my favorite. It went like it was called the sky. It said, "I look at the sky. I see a cloud. Sometimes I see rain. Sometimes I might see the sun if the tree ain't in the way. When the wind blows, I feel a breeze, but there is no heat because there's no sun. Sometimes I cry, then I think, do God do too? Because this day it's raining like hell, and I want that piss him off too.
I love it.
That's terrific.
And, and I want to do a joke about being homeless because people are so misinformed about homeless people. One, I have 6 fucking degrees. I have a master's degree up under my belt. I have a
Mm.
bachelor's degree up under my belt. I have an associate's degree under my belt. I'm a registered nurse. And oh, they can't wind up homeless? You got to be fucking kidding me. Just the fuck they can? Oh, those people that make money. Let me let you in on something called taxes. That same check that you looking at with that 1,500 on it. It might look good, but till you go to the currency change, unless you got a bank account now. Now the bank, they ain't gonna take out no tax. But at the end of the day, they taking out taxes too. Don't let them trick. Don't that bank statement telling you one thing, but I guarantee you, one of them clerks, one of them tailors that's doing your work, putting your bank statement together, they done took a couple of them zeros down, but they made it look even for your eyes to see. How I know was because I wound up dating one of the bank owners. I did, and I was homeless at the time. I dressed it so nice. The man never knew I was homeless. He said, "You know, it's something about you that I like." I said, "Let me tell you what it is about me that you like. One, I'm black and I talk crazy as hell. Two, them white bitches you work with, they don't give you the real. They give you, oh, Bob is so nice. Ooh, no, I'm gonna tell you, Bob, your ass stank and you look like shit. How about that?"
That's a good one.
And then the man, only reason why I started dating him was because I was an escort. I was 19, coming out of my first year of college. And my professor told me, I said, how the hell you get out of college in the first year? I said, when you go around sucking everybody's dick that's a professor, you get out of college real fast. You ain't got no shit. He said, did you just say sucking everybody's dick? I said, see, that's the problem. See, I got holes under me. He said, what you mean you got holes under me? I said, what I mean by that is I got bitches that I pay to fuck when I don't want to fuck. I pay them a nice amount of money. I charge y'all the extra real money, but I give them a nice piece of change and they do the job for me. Y'all just come to me for clientele. I'm a low key pimp where the police don't know nothing. Your wife won't know nothing either if you pay me the right amount of money. What you mean? Look, see, I know. One, you a doctor. Two, you a lawyer. Three, you a judge. I know somebody hitting them pockets. Cause if they wasn't hitting them pockets, the house you live in and the car you drive and the clothes you wear mean you ain't shit. You just got education to say you work these places. Cause you don't dress like shit. Why would you talk to a man like that? I said, do you know what I think about men? Men ain't shit but hoes and tricks. Lick on my nuts and suck my dick, and I ain't got one. But you can find one for me.
Getting there. It's getting there.
He's
The
like,
material's getting a lot better, Tamekia.
huh?
Your jokes are getting better. They're getting better.
Thank you.
Keep
So
going.
he's
Keep
like,
You're hilarious.
he said, why would you tell me to do something like that? Do you know only black people like listen to that type? I said, wait a minute. First of all, your Italian looking sausage ass. Well, you know I'm Italian. I said, first of all, you an Italian sausage. The reason why you a sausage is because if I squeeze you the right way, you gonna pop.
Ah!
Why would you call me a sausage though? You know I'm Italian. I take you out to nice and fancy restaurants. I say you take me out to nice and fancy restaurants because I look better than your wife. I look better than her sister. I look better than her friends. So you want to make sure your people that you're entertaining see a nice piece of arm candy for you. So why you think I charge you so much? I have to listen to all y'all cockamamie bullshit. So I have to pretend like I'm laughing when ain't shit y'all saying funny. So why you think? I said, first of all, since you an Italian, do you know according to the Italian mob law, you ain't supposed to be with a black person. You ain't even supposed to affiliate with me. So I should be calling your people and tell them you affiliated with a black girl so they can put a hit out on you. Why would you do that? I said, because obviously your Italian meat ain't got the right kind of seasoning because you got the wrong kind of woman. So he said, "But you telling me you homeless and you walking around here with all this money in your pocket?" I said, "I'm homeless. My kids ain't homeless. I'm doing this for my kids. So they ain't got to live on the street. I don't mind living on the street because, see, I come across marks like you every day that like to cheat on their wives and tell their little sob story, but y'all got lots of banks. So I don't mind listening to the sob story because the cash make more sense." I said, "You the walking monopolies. That's what the fuck y'all are. Y'all dumb motherfuckers, Italian, Germany." He like, you done went on a couple of dates with a couple of my friends. I said, "You thought I was your only woman? I never told you me and you had a Pacific contract. I told you when you called that number, they call me. I give them a price. They call you. You call me. You pick me up. You pay me. That's it. That's all." Then he say, "But you're homeless." I said, "My kids are not homeless. I'm homeless because I choose to be homeless."
Hmm.
What kind of sense does that make? What would a woman want to be homeless for? You too pretty to be homeless. I said, "Because marks like you walk around thinking you're high and mighty, and I got the pen to pop your damn balloon. Boop, there you go."
Most of that's good. Most of that's good. Do you think? Well, I don't know, Daniel. Do you have a question? You asked the last question.
Hmm.
What kind of comedy are you? Are you like it's based on your life? But how do you like draw the line from pushing too far down to the edge, or does it not matter? You know, like
It
I
really
imagine.
don't matter.
Yeah.
The reason why I say it don't matter is because I've been working on a book for my life story for 25 years. And the reason why I haven't published it is because new shit keep happening to me.
Right. Why
So
don't
I
you do?
add new shit to it.
Maybe you could do it by decades. You know,
Yeah.
instead of
I
go
was
maybe. You know what I'm saying? Because that could work. When how anyway that's interesting. That's an interesting idea. You did a joke though last time. Oh man, I can't remember, but it was funny as hell. I can't think of it now. Did Felipe want to throw down a poem? Is he there?
he went to the store to go get me some ice because he said I was going crazy in here because I ain't had no ice. My ice tray broke, so he had to go get me some ice because he know if I don't have some ice before the day is over, he might as well go stand outside and prostitute.
Well, I did
That's
want to.
actually pretty funny.
I did I did want to say one thing because Tamika, in terms of like your comedy and hey, so it was a great question in terms of towing the line between of like reality and like comedy, like comedic relief. One thing that me and my friends always talk about is just like how black folks have this like sense of humor about us
Hmm.
because we've been through so much trauma for so long. Since being stolen from the continent and brought here as slaves, and
Yeah.
colonialism and all these things, and we've been through
I
so
thank
much.
them for bringing me here. They could have bought me any day. I would have been the highest market price. They'd have beat me to death though, because see, I talk too much. So I thank them for bringing
Yeah,
us here.
you might have freed a few of us as well, Tamika. I'm almost certain of it. But in terms of just like the sense of humor that we have, like we kind of use comedy as a way of like kind of coping, with the things that we go through. Can you
Yeah.
speak to that a little bit?
Of course, comedy for me, mm, it's a relief. It's like people that get drunk, people that smoke weed like me. The reason why I say it's a relief is because pain can tear you up so bad and make you react. You only react negatively to something given towards you, like the
Yeah.
word homeless. Being called homeless, even if you is homeless, that's an attack. So for comedy, for me, it makes me laugh at the fact of the matter. You so stupid enough that you don't even know what you saying. You saying something good about me, But to you, is you think you making me feel bad? No, boo boo. Because me being without mean when I do get to where you at, I get to have more fun because I had a whole long time to be free of bills, people, and food. When all three of those, you put all three of those together, guess what you got? A big good shit. Hope you got some air freshener because it's gonna take you an hour to 45 minutes to go in there.
Yeah.
Mm.
I think though, you know, that's how
Yes.
my family coped with poverty and racism and exploitation was humor and jokes and picking on each other and stories and narratives. But I do think that this system that crushes people, you know,
This
I
poem I got is called "Don't Quit."
what's
It's
that?
by an unknown writer. The reason why I chose this poem right now is because this poem helped me for the 2 years I was out there on the street. And it helps me. Reason why it helped me so much, not just long did it help me, because with the words that's in it, I'm gonna read to you guys. It's by an unknown author because I looked it up several different pages. I went to the library, had them look it up. They like, well, we can't find the original author. So I said, okay, fine. It said, when things go wrong, as they sometimes will, when the road you're on sure seems all uphill, when the funds are low and the debts are high, and you want to smile, but you have to sigh. When care is pressing you down a bit, rest if you must, but don't you quit. Life is a queer, life is a queer with its twists and turns, as every one of us sometimes learn. And many a failure turns about when he might have won if he had stuck it out. Don't give up, though the pace seems slow. You may succeed with another blow.
Mm,
Often the goal is nearer than it seems to a faint, flattery man. Often the struggle has given up. When he might have captured the victor's cup, and he learned too late when the night slipped down how close he was to the golden crown. Success is failure turned inside out. The silver tint of the cloud, the silver tint of clouds of doubt, and never can tell how close you are. It may near when it seems so far. So stick to the fight when your heart is hit. When it seems things worse, don't you? You must not quit.
beautiful.
Mm.
So it kind of reminds me of something a comrade told me recently. You only have to win one time, right? But you keep
Absolutely.
on fighting, you keep on fighting. And I think that's what we see happening here in Chicago with these various struggles with fighting for safe schools and communities, fighting for the homeless, fighting against police brutality, fighting in communities of color against environmental racism. All these things are directly connected to capitalism. But it was when he said that to me, I was getting discouraged because I also run my union and it was hard. But I think comedy. I was watching Saturday Night Live, this hilarious skit, and they were making fun of Trump. I hate Trump. I don't know anybody that loves Trump personally, but the way the person portrayed Trump was so damn hilarious. You just had to laugh, you know. But I do think out of all the things to this is what I'm learning because my doctor recently took me off of sugar, salt. I can't use medical marijuana. Not that I was. I can't use CBD. I can't drink. I think the best addiction to have is to art and to poetry. Doesn't cost anything. You're not gonna get fat. You're not gonna, you're not gonna get addicted to pills. But damn, it's hard. It's hard. I wanted to have a drink yesterday so bad, and it didn't. I don't miss the vape. I don't miss it. But every now and then, I like to have a shot of tequila.
I know
Tamika, well,
that's right.
listen, it's been a pleasure. It's always good to see your beautiful face. Do you want to let people know how to find the Chicago Union of the Homeless on Facebook?
Sure.
What,
They
go ahead.
You just type it in because it's on there. Because I'm one of the people that can accept it or whatever. I understand a lot. I'm just trying to inform people better about homeless people. Not all of us out here. Some of us out here might not want nothing because we've been told no so many times.
Yeah.
It's just like, how can I put it simple? To put it like this, you constantly being told no, like me. When the pandemic hit, they wanted me to go to the Social Security Board. Then I had to go to the aid office to get the medical card. I'm like, look, I'm homeless. I don't have car fare to get here to there. Why don't you have stuff in one system? Because when you punch in my Social Security number, everything gonna pop up. I said, one, y'all using everybody's Social Security numbers to get paid anyway. So I don't even know why the hell y'all charging us taxes. We should be charging y'all ass.
Mm. Yeah.
Because if you think about it, prison, schools, any working place, school, especially schools, in order for these teachers to get paid, one, they have to have a certain amount of school students in there, which you have to bring their birth certificate, their social security number. Why do I need their social security number if I just got their birth certificate? Because in order for me to get paid, I have to get that social security number. So the government just screwing us by all means necessary.
Yep.
Because especially with these school systems, they teaching our children one thing and then they asking us to back up what they teaching when we know certain things you're teaching our children is not right, so we're not going to teach our children that. So if our child, like my son, he was like, Mom, they were teaching me math a certain way, but you showed it to me a different way, which made it easier. But my teacher wanted me to explain it the way that she taught it to me, but I didn't understand it the way she taught it to me. So as I was telling him, so I said, let me talk to your teacher. I said, first of all, I broke it down to my son an easier way. It still came up to the same answer, right? She said, yeah. I said, some children, you have to do that. I understand y'all strictly laws, you got it broke down this way, that way. But when it comes down to some children, I said, like me, I learned by being taught. When you write stuff on the board, I don't care if you got me sitting next to the board. I read it. I ain't understand what the hell that shit you got on that board said. But when you told it to me, I understood it. I said, that's how you got to treat your children. You got to know how to get them to understand. I said, even though you did a math problem one way, but the way I showed it to him, it was better for him and it still came out to the same answer. She like, but that ain't how we teach. And I said, that's the whole problem. You can't
Yep.
expect us as parents to back up your shit when when I know my child is not learning the way the fuck you teaching it. Long as
Yeah.
they come up with the same answer, it shouldn't matter how you got the answer.
Yeah. No,
Right.
that's true. It's so inflexible, especially when they put like curriculum and they have to stick to us the one way and that's it. That
Right.
doesn't make that's not how it was when I was taught. Growing up, like there were different ways of teaching kids. And back then they didn't talk about visual learners. I don't at least I don't think they did. I mean it
No,
wasn't perfect,
they ain't
but
teaching. All I knew was the three R's: reading, writing, arithmetic.
yep.
That's right.
Yeah.
I know writing started with a W, but according to us, we went with we took W out and put writing R. We start out RITING. My teacher like, why is you writing and you see the W in front of her? I said, lady, I don't know what school you went to, but I was raised with the three R's in my house: reading, writing, arithmetic, and writing starts with a R. She said arithmetic start with an A. I said, you ain't hear me say arithmetic. You heard me say arithmetic. That means they started with an R. Thank you guys for having me so much. Anytime you want me to do it again,
Please,
maybe
Sarah.
next time I have better jokes.
Yes.
So, Kika, I am going to podcast part of it, if that's okay with you. I just started a podcast, and you would have laughed. Oh my God. I put my makeup on, I go into the studio, and I was
Well,
like,
baby, I didn't put my wig on today, so how about that? I put a baseball cap. I put a skull cap on my head, say Chicago. I didn't
Well,
even put my wig on today. I even got a
the
little ball on top of my head. See?
I love it. I love it. No, but the joke is, or stupid by me. It's a podcast. They're not going to see you. Doesn't matter.
That's cool. Exactly. And if they did see me, tell them like this. Bonnie said Tamika said she wasn't gonna put on a wig today. She wanted to wear Chicago. So since
Right.
she in Chicago, she repping Chicago. She put
Yes, you
on a
are.
Chicago hat for us. How about that?
Well,
Thank
we
you
have you
guys.
here. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thanks for
Tamika.
watching. Just want to give a heads up. I am going to be streaming Tango Asen Martin, who is a San Francisco poet laureate, African American Marxist, the eighth San Francisco poet laureate. He's an amazing, amazing human being. You would love to hear his work. I hope you come. I'll put that in the discussion. But it's going to be at 11 o'clock Central Time tomorrow from 11 to 12:20 during my English 97 class. I hope you can be there because
I'm gonna try my best. I'm gonna try
oh
my
man,
best.
I would love it. Well, thank you, Tamika. Thank you, Daniel. It's
Thank
so
you.
good to see you
Thank you.
all, and
Thank
I'll
you.
see you soon. Say hi to Felipe for us. Let me play
All
the
right.
outro. This is a song Adam wrote for this, especially for me. Yes. They just left me. All right, tune in next time. Thank you for watching.